Hello and welcome to the Crafty Elf Workshop. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I prepare garlands for Christmas time. This one is brand new. I just ordered it from Wayfair. It's a flock garland. And for those who don't know what flocked means, it's just basically the regular greenery, and it looks like a big snowfall has fallen on your greenery. So that's flocked. I will warn you, it is very messy. And but once the mess is cleaned up, it's beautiful. I've always loved flocked greenery, and so I'm very excited to use it. So I've gone ahead. This particular garland requires 2 boxes to be filled with batteries. Each of the boxes hold 6 AA batteries. I'll show you. I've already filled them. And one thing I will say, in the 35 plus years that I've been decorating, you get what you pay for. I use Duracell batteries. I know they're going to last. Christmas time, I love to have my lights on a lot, so I want to go with something that I can depend on. And if I have to replace them, fine, but Duracell batteries are good. Never mix old and new batteries. You will cause fire. So when you put batteries in, make sure they're all brand new, or they've all been used for the exact same amount of time. If not, you can start a fire, and I've seen it actually melt things and become very close to starting fires, so it's not worth it. Just make sure when you put the batteries in, you're using quality batteries and that they are all brand new. So in this particular battery box, there is a timer. So there's off, sorry, not a timer, but there's function. So there's off, and there's 2 boxes, so you'll see one box is already lit. The second one is constantly on. The next one is flashing, and then the last one is timed. I'm not going to use the timed one. I haven't read, and you'll see how it's got a bit of a pattern. I'm not going to use the time one because I like to control the lights off and on, because some days I want them on longer and some days I don't. So I will turn it off, click it on the first notch, and it's going to be on. So let's get started. Now I'm going to warn you, it is going to be messy. So I'm just going to start and very carefully manipulate it. I'm going to see if I can start at the one end, and then I'm just going to slide it along. I'm doing it on a old ceramic tile floor because I know it's going to be messy, and I want the easy cleanup. And there we go. Okay, I'm very carefully opening the branches, and once I get it opened, you're going to see here. Here's the flat side. You can see how it's flat. And this is the top, we know, because it looks like it's just had a brand new snowfall on top. So what I'm going to do is, where it's bent, you'll see where it's bent here. What you have to do is you have to make sure, because sometimes it gets twisted, you want to make sure that the flock side is going to be up. So I'm going to start with this end, lay it on the flat, and then I'm just going to work my way along the whole garland, and I'm going to just very carefully twist it as I go along to make sure that the top side, which is the flock side, is facing up. So you see here, I need to twist this because it's got the dark side, or the side that's not flocked, facing up, and that's not what I want. And then I'm going to keep sliding along, and then I'm just moving. This is all wired, so I'm just basically bending the wire very carefully and twisting it so that the right side is facing up. Okay, so now once that I've done that, as you can see, there's already lots of flocking on the floor, and that's okay. The best suggestion, or the best thing I can tell you, is when you're doing garland and even a Christmas tree, is make sure you touch every branch. And by doing that, you're going to make sure that all the branches are the way you want them, and they're going to be turned the right way. So this is a perfect example. So because it's flocked, I can see what side or what part of the branch needs to face up. Every branch has got snow on it, and I want the side that's got the most snow facing up. So I'm going to create volume in the garland by just bending, you can see, bending branches around. Everybody likes their own way of doing it, you know, how much you want it bent or how thick or full you want it to look. I want mine to look pretty thick. So I'm just going to take each branch and I'm going to curve it and lift it exactly the way I want it to be. Now with flocking, the flocking will take some of the branches and make them stick together. So I'm putting my hand at the bottom of the branch and just manipulating each of the branches along the way. I want to be careful because I don't want to knock the flocking off, but you can see here's a good one. So there's a couple branches here, so I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to gently just pull it apart because I want to keep as much flocking on the branches as possible, and that's the whole purpose of buying flocking, a flocked item, is to make it look like the new fallen snow. So as you go along, you're going to open it up. Whether it's flocked or not, doesn't matter. You just want to make each branch look like it's real. So separate it, lift it up, turn it, and just think of the sun shining down on top of it and each branch wanting to reach up to the sun. So that's basically what I keep in mind as far as trying to open up the branches and making your garland look as real as possible. And that's another reason why I say touch each branch, because that way you're going to separate them and it's going to look so much fuller, it's going to look real, and you're going to look, your garland or your tree, whichever, is going to look like professional. It's going to look like it came out of a magazine, or it should be in a magazine, or the way the stores do them. And the secret is not because anybody's wonderful, like everybody's got good capabilities of opening garlands and making them stand up and look beautiful. The difference between a really, excuse my language, but crappy looking garland or tree is because no one has taken the time to open each of the branches up. And that's all it is, it's time. It is worth every little bit of effort that you go to opening up your tree, your garland, or whatever. Yes, it does take a little bit of time, but the results are amazing. Anyway, so as you can see, so there's part of the branches that are opened up versus the part that hasn't been. Look at the difference. And it's just taken me a bit longer because I'm talking as I'm demonstrating. But honestly, if you're by yourself and you're doing it, it really won't take as long, but the results will be amazing. Absolutely amazing. There used to be a time when I was younger and I would just open up things and I thought it looked pretty good, but then as the years went on and I got to working with people who were professionals and taught me how to do things right, I couldn't believe how much of a difference it made and how much better everything looked. And it was like, really, I wish I had known that all along. Anyways, so I'm going to continue doing this, and I will keep working on it and show you the end result.